Hey, what's up, La Familia? You crazy football-loving nutters. This is Ray Hudson, and you are luxuriating in listening to the Inter Miami podcast with the stupefyingly magnificent Jay and Alex. Two lads who are as electrifying as a hairdryer thrown into a hot tub. Stay tuned, because you know what it's going to be. It's going to be Magisterial with an amplifier.
The cross goes, he's done it again. Taylor squares it for Victor Ulloa. It's one up. Ulloa and Taylor. Job done for Inter Miami. Led in by Moses. What? 6. It's 2 for Miami. Damian Lowell doubles the lead. Some days you can just sense something wicked. This way it comes.
Well, it finally happened after a long month wait, what seemed honestly like 3 months. It happened. He's here. He debuted. It's real. He was rocking the kit. He was holding the crest. It is finally the Messi era of Inter Miami football, and nothing but good vibes and positivity to look forward to in the future. What a debut game. You could not have scripted that any better. What do you guys, just super high level. So, but what was the number one emotion you felt?
Joy.
Oh, man. Yeah, excitement.
Unbridled joy.
Excellent. We're going to get into this. So welcome, everyone, to the Inter Miami podcast. Than is still on a gauntlet of travel and responsibility. So we decided, let's bring in some other members of the IMPC Universe. Want to start rotating, get everyone familiar with them, as we got some big news coming up here. 1 week, 2 weeks, something like that we think everyone's going to enjoy. It's something we've been asked since season 1. And, just like Chloe, you don't have to ask me to do it, every 6 months. I'm going to get it done eventually. So, but welcome, everybody. We have Mike Longin, the Director of Engineering and Technical Services for the Inter Miami podcast, and a more familiar face. He's been on the show a couple times. Branton, Griffin. How's everyone doing? How was everyone's Monday after that lovely weekend you had?
I mean, I really like Friday games. I think Friday games, because it means you get the whole weekend to handle the hangover. Man, Messi. We had Messi. Messi was wearing pink. And then, I mean, clearly MLS fixed the game, because how do you finish Messi's first game with a free kick? Oh, unbelievable, man. Just the coolest thing.
Those are fun conspiracies to see out there. All these
Mike, you're starting
weird threads. Yeah, he's too deep. He's too deep.
He's starting to sound like the Orlando City fans.
Yeah. No, he is. But he's not. He doesn't feel bitter. He's just happy. But he loves a good old conspiracy. Who doesn't love it? How are you hanging? Yeah, I'm barely hanging on today, by the way. But how was your weekend, Brandon?
It was awesome, man. Listen, this was probably the first home game that afterwards I didn't have a actual hangover. I had an emotional hangover to try and get over, but that was great, man. We'll get into it later. Being live in the stadium and getting to experience that moment was just, top moment as being an Inter Miami fan. It was just incredible.
Yeah, it was. So I'm curious on the build-up, because of all the games that I attend, which is almost every single game, every season, unless something happens or I've got to go out of town, I was unfortunately not able to attend the debut. I got was going to just go get a ticket off the secondary market. CONCACAF doesn't really, I guess, recognize us as much as we had hoped. So, you see some big names like Herc Gomez get denied, our boy, our buddy Austin Robillard as well. But, same thing happened to me. And it was just, it felt like maybe the universe didn't want me there. Then Friday, I got a call from Camille's daycare because Chloe was out of town with Quinn up in New York, and I had just been watching her for the whole week. And I was going to get a babysitter and then, go to the game. She goes to sleep at 6. I'd go a little late, whatever, at least enjoy it, swoop out, pick her up. Got a call from the doctor, and she's not doing well, so from daycare, so we had to take her to the doctor. So I opted to stay home, take care of the baby, which I will never regret that decision. But, man, the FOMOing was so real because I was just watching all of your guys' banter in the Discord, and then I watched the entire pregame, and it was tough on my soul. But I'm so curious. I know we see each other every single, game day, before the game, after the game. But this one was different, and I just want you guys to kind of explain and walk me through what that day was, from getting to the tailgate, all the build up to the game and post and everything like that. We'll start with Mike.
No, the buildup was great. Huge shout out to La Familia to start. Originally, all the SGs were going to be over in the community field. Lightning storm comes through. They clear out the field. They pushed everyone out to the parking lot. And honestly, I think it was one of the best tailgates, if not the best tailgate I've had a chance to attend. All the SGs were together. People were mingling. We had a ton of interaction amongst the groups. I just love seeing it. I know my son was super excited when he watched Thogden. I don't know who watches Thogden here, one of the YouTube celebrities, but he was watching Thogden to see the Greenlock Gang. Tent was on Thogden. Thogden was hanging out with Vice City. Which was super cool. I just think that was just a great start to it. And then you got into the stadium, and man, that energy was amazing. I don't know if everyone saw the flags. The flags that the club put out were just super cool design, messy design, shared that out. I heard they're going for about $50 each on eBay. If you want to get them, they're definitely out there. And then the celebs, I had a super awesome vantage point to see LeBron and Kim Kardashian, and who else was there? Serena. That was super cool. I mean, this was the Inter Miami event we were sold from day one. We'd have celebs, we'd have packed crowds, it would be lit up. I mean, it was just pre-kickoff. It was electric, and definitely. I mean, I think there's been a bunch of back and forth. Like, what was bigger feeling, this or the Orlando City game last year, which was just another electric thing, but. I mean, this was the Inter Miami experience we were sold from day one, and I absolutely loved it.
Excellent. Well, yeah, so that's another thing that I got to miss out, that cool debut flag. So if anyone has an extra one they do not mind coming off of, I will happily take that for the wall. Branton, how was your experience?
Well, first of all, since this is an audio podcast, you guys can't tell after that description, Jay Kington was reduced to tears. We had to pause for 20 minutes while he collected himself.
Mike's just rubbing it in. It's best tailgate ever. Everyone's there in unity.
No, listen, I wish I could tell you that Mike was lying about that, but it really was probably the best tailgate we've ever had. Supporters groups all in close proximity, which is not something we've had just because of different constraints at the site. So the team kind of found a way to make that happen. We all got to be together. A lot of newbies, people who haven't been around the team, came through the tailgates, were interested in our culture, interested in La Familia. A lot of reporters coming by. I hope not, but I think I may have given an interview while indulging in some little too much rum. But, there's pictures online of all of us together. It was just great. It was electric. It felt like everybody was there for one cause. We were all together, united. La Familia went into the match together. We all kind of we had our sections together right in the middle behind our goal. And, it was just electric. I've gone on here before and said the Orlando City game last year where Campagna chipped the keeper, that was my number one Inter Miami moment. It's now number 2. Just the emotions of all the crap that we've gone through. Like, we've been through some dark times, and to be in the same stadium as Messi. Like, how many of us actually thought we would see this man ever play live? And, I started out the week, I was like, oh, it's Messi. And then, now, I hate to say it, the man's won me over. He's one of my favorite players at this point. And he was everything it was built up to be. You know, I guess we shut down the airport, had fireworks going off all over the place, and it was just the moment we all dreamed of, and it finally happened.
Yeah, so that fireworks thing was
that was dope.
that was yeah, those were big boy fireworks. That was a sick setup. Nothing quite like the arrival of one man shutting down an entire executive airport and clearing the airspace with the FAA.
I hope they do that every
awesome
game. Just shut it down.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Did you guys see the outside shots looking as they were going? Like that was.
Drone?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they nailed those fireworks. Now, unfortunately, I don't know if anyone else. I'm still covered in stains. I guess because it's so humid and all the debris, like the gases and stuff. But I ended up with, you guys can't see it, but I still have marks on my hand from that's just firework stuff that just stained. My skin was all stained. I mean, that was like the one negative of the night. I ended up with tattoos from Messi's event.
You'll always remember it.
Yeah.
It could be worse. I got hit in the back of the head with a tifo. Listen, every time we've done a tifo, it's come from the bottom. So I knew we were going to do the tifo. I'm ready for it. And then bam, right in the back of the head.
Just a heavy canvas, huh?
Yep.
Excellent. Well, let's so the game wise, everyone seemed to be asking whether that just be on social media and the Discord, on various shows that the IMPC Universe attends or speaks on, and a lot of the questions were, is Messi going to start? Is Busquets going to start? And I figured that he basically had to start, and that Busquets had to start, because these prices of tickets, the market was out of control, and people were buying up tickets for heavy sums of money, gross sums of money. And I figured that the club would recognize that and just, feel the need to start him so that people weren't upset and their wallets weren't yelling at them. But that did not happen. So, we came out without both Messi and Busquets, more of the traditional IMCF lineup. We actually had Josef on the bench as well, so we had Leo Campana starting, flanked by Robbie Robinson and Robbie Taylor. Arroyo holding it down in the middle with Kramaski, as well as David Ruiz. Back line, this was kind of confusing. The club released one lineup, and then Apple TV released a different lineup, and the discrepancies were on the back line. You had Kamal Miller and Kritzhoff as a center backs, which everyone basically expected. And then one lineup showed Ian Frey as a left back with Yedlin as a right back. And the other one showed Yedlin as the left back and Ian Frey as the right back. So either way, it was one individual was going to have to be playing out of positions. And we kind of got the football we've been accustomed to, right? A lot of people are saying don't buy in too much to the win because Cruz Azul isn't doing well in the in Liga MX. Although I believe it's been only a few weeks into the season over there. But, had some good spells, had some silly mistakes per usual. Then, everything changes. Robbie Taylor, man, does this guy score tap-ins? Can he possibly just score like a boring goal?
No, can't. He doesn't know how to do that.
It was a beauty of a shot, but I don't know if I'm jumping ahead, but I think you got to stop for a few minutes to talk about those first 30, which is Cruz Azul. That was their game to win.
Yeah,
they had every shot. They had three or four great chances. They put one off a cross, bounces right to their own guy. Guy has an easy chip in and sails it over and scores a field goal.
Yep.
Calendar was like, I know Messi with the ending is the hero of the game, don't get me wrong, but Calendar's what kept us in that game. He was man on fire, man of the match, played lights out. it was scary. I mean, I watched obviously watched it Friday night, watched the replay Saturday morning through and through, slowed down, replayed a few scenes. Cruz Azul could have been at 30 minutes up 3-0 and deserved every one of those goals.
Yeah. No, I agree with you. Yeah, that should have been 1-0 early in the game, and he sailed that. I mean, just the clearances. We had nearly double the clearances just trying to get the ball out. And even the head coach of Cruz Azul was saying that, it wasn't really an evenly matched game. We were dominant until Messi, and Busquets came on. So, yeah, it's tough. You kind of do feel for them, but, we want to win anyway. But hell of a night by Calendar. Hell of a night. Some amazing quick reflex saves certainly kept us in there. And then the icing on top, which, again, just a beautiful goal. Because the funny thing was, Apple has increased the cameras for all Inter Miami games, right? And there's like 18 different cameras or something really high up there. So one camera was just on Leo Messi the entire game as he's just sitting back there in between Josef and Busquets. And you can see just the facial reactions, like, oh man, there's some mistakes, and I think that would be putting it very politely happening out there. But then Robbie, gives us a beautiful present right before the end of the half, and you just see Messi jump up and full of excitement with his teammates as well. And it didn't really take long. I think you guys probably assumed. I think most people that watch the sport assume that, well, if they're not going to start, they're probably going to give them 20 to 30 at the end of the game, right? Subbed on pretty quick, 54th minutes, triple substitution for Messi, taking out Benjamin, Busquets taking out David Ruiz, and Josef Martinez coming in for Campana. This is going to be fun to watch because, we're going to have two strikers, right? And we're either going to play two up top or we're going to rotate them. So if we're only going to do one striker up there, it's going to be a fun little competition between Leo and Josef. Who do you think would benefit the most as being the center forward up there?
Real quick, Jay, before we get into that, Than would be pissed if we didn't mention this. What a cool moment was that to see Benja and Ruiz subbed off for Messi and Busquets. Two academy products subbed off for legends of the game. That was pretty cool as an Inter Miami fan. I loved it.
I agree.
First off, yeah, 100%. The Benji coming off, he says it. He gave a hug and a kiss to Messi. What a cool moment. Can we also take a moment to say that they intentionally made Benji number 30 sub off for Messi number 10? The imagery when you threw out the PSG number for Messi's real number, that's not a coincidence that was the choice they made, the 30 and 10. I feel like Apple has a play in that call. Listen, guys, if we're going to do sub, let's do number 30 for him. It'll look real good.
No, somebody should ask Benja if he picked 30 for this season because Messi had 30 at PSG. The Argentinian link, I'd be curious to know the answer to that.
Man, Mike is out here pushing these conspiracy theories, and I gotta be honest.
Man, it looked good.
I'm kind of buying in.
Strangeness channel?
I'm kind of buying into it for sure. But before we get to the really glorious part of the game, just back to that question: who do you guys think benefit more? Is the solo striker, the center forward up there?
It's 100% Josef. I mean, you saw it. So two things, and I eventually was going to say this. Campana's struggling. We saw that he had. I counted at least 3 great chances. Excellent service in the first 45 minutes that he completely messed up. 2 were off his head. One was, I think, a great corner. Another was just great service in there. And then he had the chance, gets the ball, him with a defender on the side, takes a shot, goes straight to the keeper. So Campana's stock is dropping. The flip side, we saw at the practice. I think everyone saw the practice session. Josef is running next to Messi. He's clearly aligned with him. We see them, they're sitting together in the game. I think everyone's seen the clip now or should see the clip that Josef lowers the chair in front of Messi because Messi didn't have a good view of it. So Josef jumps in to lower that chair. Josef is clearly the winner at the moment. It doesn't feel like that should be right. You'd think hey, guy who needs the best service really is Campana. That should be the one that should be doing better. But clearly at the moment, Josef's the beneficiary of Messi.
And Josef also has the prior experience of working within a Martino system, so that bolsters him as well. Are you concurring with that, Branton?
I think, yeah, basically, I think Martinez and Messi definitely have that chemistry. I mean, the first person to hug Messi after he scored the goal was Martinez. So, they've got that connection. Like Mike said, they've been together next to each other during practice. And I think that probably maybe that connection continues throughout the season. I do think long term, I think Campagna will benefit from playing with Messi. I think part of the thing that'll be interesting to see is we get these new additions into the midfield, and we're asking less of that midfield than what they're capable of delivering. I think maybe that opens the door for Campagna, but right now it looks like we're trying to score on the run, and Campagna is not fast. Campagna is not quick. Joseph is. And so I think what we saw, especially when Busquets and Messi came on, is you saw those balls being pushed, like pinpoint accuracy by both of them right to Joseph, and he was had his pick. There was that one where, Messi was clearly offside when he received the ball, but Messi could have scored that. And to me, him just kind of flicking it off to Joseph for the easy tap into the goal, if Messi knew he was offside, that's okay. But I'm going to read into it and say he probably was just setting up his teammate, and he had that chemistry with Joseph and respected him to get it done.
Is this the bromance we didn't know we needed?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so. But listen, if you would have told me, or you would have asked me who his best friend was going to be when he showed up here and who was going to be next to him, I don't think I would have picked Joseph.
Yeah.
But we also got to call out, like, Messi just seems like the ultimate teammate. And as a father of a son who's 10 years old, I always loved Messi. I always thought he was a great role model. You never heard anything bad about him. But in the past week, we've heard all these anecdotes about Messi just being this awesome teammate, whether I think the story came out on Thursday, Yedlin was looking for more tickets on the private WhatsApp group, and the first person who jumped in was Messi. Hey, I'll get you tickets.
Oh,
got
it was Campagna. It was Campagna.
Was Campagna? Was it Campagna? And then
so I take it back. Campagna's benefited from Messi the most.
Free tickets. And then we
first
heard this,
assist.
Messi gives the interview. We haven't covered Frey and what happened to him yet, but
we're getting.
We'll cover it. Frey's down. Messi's the one who goes, "This game was for Frey. We did this for Ian. He's the one holding that 24 up," and realizing that this guy, Branton, I'm agreeing with you. Like, I don't think it's just Joseph though. I think anyone who was running alongside Messi was going to hand off that ball, because that was it's the right shot, right? Like, he's got the goal in front of him. The guaranteed goal's there. Messi's not going for the limelight. Messi wants to win and wants the team to win. We are so much better off for it. Like, he's going to make everyone better.
And one other thing I want to add to this discussion that's really important is we have not seen Campagna and Messi on the field together. So we don't know what that link up is going to look like. So hopefully tomorrow, because we're recording Monday, hopefully Tuesday, we get to see some of that at some point, because I want to see that. Because if you think about it, we didn't even get to see Campagna with Pizzuelo last year. So we don't know what Campagna can really do with quality service. So
yeah, I mean, it's all speculation right now, right?
Yeah,
it's just a fun little combo to be had. But yeah, we did get ahead of ourselves. So let's backtrack to the 30th minute, chasing down a defender on that left side. I don't think that really had any effect with it, but you see Ian Frey running, and then he shoots up, and you can tell something's wrong. He goes down. He is pounding on the ground, what you would only interpret as a frustration-related reaction. And then you see him in his, it might have been harder for you guys because the camera with the zoom on it and everything. But, you could see that he was just bawling his eyes out, and he knew exactly what it was, because he's had to deal with that injury 2 times prior, and he is probably very aware what that sensation in the knee feels like. And it was a moment of absolute heartbreak, because the fans have been so happy that he is healthy again after missing essentially 2 seasons. has some of the best feet on the team, and really, really bright future with his organization. And he tore that ACL. He's going to be out for the entire year, and that was just another crushing moment in an injury-riddled season to the likes of something like I've never seen this before. I think maybe Chelsea last year had like a whole team they could put together who was out due to injuries. But it's just heartbreak after heartbreak for La Familia. And, we got the Messi news boosting us up, but feel really, really bad for Frey. I'm sure you guys probably felt the same as you were watching it unfold right in front of you.
Yeah,
I was Branton.
No, it wouldn't be an Inter Miami CF event without something bringing us down. And when I saw the player down from the north stands, it was really hard to see who it was. I ended up going on my phone to try and figure it out, and once I saw it was Frey and how long he was down, I was because I couldn't see he was crying or anything like that. I was praying. I was like, please just let it be a hammy or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't let it be what I think it is. And it's sad because the kid, he's got so much talent, and now it's like I just can't express how gutted I am for the guy. 3 years in a row for this to happen, it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking. And we definitely, everybody in La Familia that I've talked to has wished the kid nothing but a speedy recovery, and whatever he needs, La Familia's here. We're always going to support him no matter what.
Yeah, and I'll throw out La Familia's got a little something to show the love tomorrow. So we're working on something to make sure that he sees it and the club sees it. But what really, I knew how bad it was when he saw it. It was two things you saw. One was on TV, and I don't think the other one was. One was Callender sprinted up the field. As soon as he went down, the whistle was called. Callender was by his side going full speed. The other, which I don't think the cameras caught, the entire bench jumped up. Every single one of them jumped up out of their seats, looks like a major concern on their face. They knew right away this was serious. There was no question it was a lasting injury. Messi, Josef, every one of them was out of their seats staring at this poor kid, feeling for him. Like that was what got me, was seeing all the players out of their seats. That's when I knew, like, oh, this wasn't one of those joking around injuries. The players knew second one that this was probably season ending.
Mm-hmm.
Don't want to say career ending, sorry. Season ending. They knew then.
Yeah, don't put those vibes out there. We are wishing him
my bad.
a recovery. Here's the really good news: is he's still very young, right? And the body is still capable of healing at a faster rate than, say, if he was 34 or something like that. So, got to wish him the best. And a shout out to Messi for dedicating the win to Ian Frey. Then they had the team picture afterwards, and Messi's holding up Frey's shirt as well. So, a little bit of heartfelt. Fond memories to go along with the absolute tragedy, but let's try and bring it back to the positives. Get to he touches the field and instantly just gives us everything we thought that we would be getting with Messi. Very shicey, man. He is just shifty. He can turn on a dime. He's really good at shielding the ball and even kind of going one-on-one in a more physical presence and just using some skills of the feet to get by. The 1-2s he was making, the visions he was making. And he had a defender on his back, somehow got around him, shook him off, and just splits a ball between the left back and center back to I believe it was Martinez at the time, but like absolutely beautiful. And then Busquets coming on and just providing that level-headedness, that very comfortable kind of mentality. I understand why he's got that little nickname or the octopus emoji associated with him. He can really orchestrate. I think I mentioned it on last week's Trav chats. Like, he's essentially a 10, but of like the kind of more in the defensive midfield side than being up like where you'd see a traditional like Cam or something and operate as a 10. So the fact that we're gonna have both him and Messi is really relieving because there's been some serious struggles in moving the ball with confidence throughout the midfield. So, I mean, just instantaneous. What did you guys think about their performances prior to, what was that, the 94th minute before we get into the really fun stuff?
So I think it's funny, you said kind of a number 10 of the defense. I actually thought, kind of going with our American football lingo, kind of looked like a middle linebacker to me, the guy who's orchestrating everyone around him. You saw it in real time. He's telling everyone where to go. It's funny, I actually thought Busquets had the best game of the night, even above Messi in that glorious shot. Like, he was everywhere you needed him to be. And his touch, I thought Yedlin, previous to these guys coming, I thought Yedlin had the best touch of the field. If you ever watch Yedlin play, his touch of the ball, first-time touch, is glorious. But Yedlin looks like there's effort in his touch. It's a glorious touch for his effort. There was one time Busquets wasn't even looking at the ball, sticks his foot up in the middle of the air, catches the ball, brings it right down to his feet, and just kind of walks with the ball in this one glorious motion that I've never seen a football player do that before. It was just so beautiful. And then his one-time passes, there was one where Messi was splitting the defense. Busquets, so I forget who passed the ball. Paul came in for Busquets' right. Ball calls command. Busquets just one-time taps it. The ball splits the defenders and goes right to Messi's feet. It was perfect. He never even looked. He knew exactly where Messi was going to be. This is beautiful. Remember, we know for sure we got Jordi Alba to join this and keep this going. But just the way the ball moved in those 30 minutes was glorious, and I am super excited.
Yeah, I mean, to piggyback off of that, and one thing I wanted to shout out while we were talking about, Messi coming on and everything. If you haven't heard it, Mike Marinelli nailed the intro to Messi. Like, I got goosebumps in the stadium when he announced him coming in. That was pretty cool. But, the quality that those two bring is just incredible. Having never really experienced top tier world football, right? I've never seen something like that before in it live. And, it was amazing to me to see like how effortlessly Messi just kind of glided, even with the ball. There was a couple of times there was one time right in front of us, he was coming up the right wing, and he like just effortlessly put this guy on skates, and the guy's falling over, and he's just got
photo.
An open net.
There was a great photo of that.
Yeah, and it was just incredible, and it just kept. I just kept saying to myself the whole time, this guy plays for us. Like, this guy plays for us. And Busquets, the way he was passing that ball, like, if you watch him through some of those runs, like, specifically, there was one link up where he had with Joseph, where he just passed it straight through the entire team, and the ball glides and then stops right where Joseph's foot is going to be so Joseph can pick it up. It wasn't like he had to pick it up and like the ball was still moving. Like, it was right where Joseph was going to be. And that to me was impressive. Like Mike said, Alba's on his way. We've got some more promising young guys coming. So can't wait to see that. But like, the level of passing was just next level. It was incredible.
The other thing with Messi, I watched the practice session. It was super worth watching. And they showed Messi doing some sprints, and you could see him just go from no speed to full speed, and it was just effortless. But then I saw him do it with the ball, and like there was one time he's come the ball, he's just dribbling slowly, he's kind of assessing the field, and then just took off, and there's no effort. He goes from 0 to full speed, and he doesn't look like he's even trying. He's blowing by people on the field, and so I'm going to say something super controversial here. I think this is where Campana is going to really struggle. Is I think that our teams just got faster. And I think the speed of our offense has gotten a lot faster. And I think Campana's speed is going to become a liability because he's not going to be able to be in place for service because he's going to still be downfield. I think one of the guys who's really that seems to so far be really benefiting from the change is Robbie Robinson. There's a lot of faith being put in Robbie. We saw him as the starter. He played all 90 minutes. Now I think
Bobby
Trav kind of called
had
it
his
out in the
best
Discord.
game of his career,
Hands down. And I think he would have been subbed off at 75, though. I forgot who got injured. Trav called
Frey
out
injury
that.
messed that up, I think.
Was it the Frey? One of the injuries kind of messed up when he would have come out, but Robbie, I think, is one of the biggest beneficiaries to date, purely based on his physicality and his speed. That he's willing to get up there, he's willing to get in the face, and he becomes on the left-hand side. I think he's kind of becoming the guy who's going to be kind of messing around up there. I don't know on the right side yet, but just so far, I think Robbie's a real beneficiary of that speed. And when we talked about Messi coming on, no one ever mentioned the speed he was going to add to the offense. Everyone, because Messi, right? He walks more than any other player on the face of the earth. That's what he's known for. But when he gets the ball, he moves the ball very quickly. And I think that's going to be a big change for us. And I don't want to say I fear for Campana. I don't think that's a true statement, but I think that's going to be a concern. Can Campana provide with the speed our offense is now going to show?
So I don't think you're going to be asking that of Campana when he plays. I think now we have to rely on speed, right? Because we don't have all the pieces in place. We don't have all the players that we've signed or are going to be signing in place. And Tata's trying to get his tactics in, like, on the fly. These guys have practiced together for a week. He's going to play the lineup that has the best chemistry, and that's Joseph right now. But I think what we'll start seeing is, while Campana is not like a speedster, Campana can make moves in the box. So I think what we'll see is maybe Campana is not tracking back as deep as he has been. I mean, Phil had him tracking back to like the CDM position at times. So I think if Campana stays up top a little bit more and you have speedier wingers, Tata can build a system around him where he can be the target man that he is. That's what he is. He's never been advertised as a poacher like Joseph. Like, he's a target man.
I'm going to disagree.
That NA is there, bro. I got that.
I can't do the NA, but I got to disagree.
There's no NA on it. It's just Campana. You just gotta. It keeps hearing Campana.
Listen, Campana has to track back because there's a guy named Leo Messi who will not track back, and you can't all of a sudden have only 9 defending the ball. Like, you're going to need at least 10. So if we all accept that Messi is going to be walking around up top and just causing trouble, your other the striker has to provide some additional help back there. May not go back far back to CDM, but
Joseph doesn't track back.
He's going to track more. That he tracks backs. This is a horrible frame. He track backs more than Campana does because he's faster.
Yeah, and look, per Jorge, Campana is going to be the one that benefits the most from Messi. That's the club's vision. It might take some time. It's a lot of speculation, but like that's going to be kind of the story within the grander story to keep an eye on. Now we go forward though. 92nd minute. I'll probably butcher this name. I'm gonna go with Dueñas. Fouls and perfect little setup. A little deep. Not right up against the 18-yard box on that left hand side and. There's only one person that's going to step up and take that. I would have loved to see someone on the team like try and grab that ball. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and have a go at this. Yeah, right, buddy. Sit down, and there's about a minute and a half, 2 minutes from foul to setting up the wall, adjustments, and then the ref blowing the whistle, and then we just get one of the most magical memories, not only in Inter Miami history, but I'm gonna say American sports history, like arguably one of the greatest debuts that this world has ever seen. Conspiracy theories aside of how it was all planned, I mean, even if it's planned, you still got to hit that. It's not like that's necessarily a gimme, but a gorgeous free kick to win it in the dying embers of the game set La Familia and everyone in that stadium on fire. And then, actually, literally speaking, and then we light more fireworks off, and it's just a beautiful, beautiful photo op. You see Messi run over to the corner. You see the team running with him. Like I said, Yosu was the first one to run up and hug him. Bench goes wild. And then talk all the smack you want about Drive Pink Stadium, but really it's one of the few stadiums that will allow a player the opportunity to have a moment like that, and then run over and hug his children in those ground seats. Not every stadium has, ground level seats. And it was just a very magical moment. And there's obviously been some toxicity out there in the journalism world. And, I've seen some articles like, kind of negatively putting a spin on it, specifically like an article I saw from the New Yorker. But like, you cannot.
Well, that was a horrible article.
Yeah, you can't take away
article.
anything from this beautiful moment and 3.5 years of hardship for this fan base, for the entire community, for the team, the front office, La Familia, everyone involved. And everyone felt that relief that, this was going to be worth it once Messi was announced, right? But man, real-time moments, like you're kind of felt like we were getting over the hurdle, over the top of the mountain. And, it's going to be a nice ride for the next 2.5 years, potentially 3.5 if he exercises the contract option. But what was that moment like in person?
So I got to first start. How stupid a foul was that? Like, you're watching the play, especially when you're watching. They sandwiched it. Both those guys are going to foul him. And the greatest player, not even arguably, the greatest player of our generation. You can argue if ever, but of our generation. And you have him there just outside the 18, and you're going to sandwich the guy? Like, I know we're tired. I know in the 94th, there was no time left. But that was stupid. Now, that being said, the greatest sporting moment of my life, right? Like, no, this is a Hail Mary. This is it's a storybook ending. But Jay, I'm super glad he called out him running to his family. That's why Messi's here. Like, I have to imagine when they were selling Messi on coming to play for us, they showed him the box where his kids and family were going to see each game and said, you get to see them every game. You've never got PSG, Barcelona. You didn't get that, but we're going to let you do that every single game. And that was the magical moment. He was so happy. His family was so happy. The fans were so happy. I think we were all kind of in disbelief. But man, just the smile on his face. I truly believe Messi is happy to be here. And especially when you look at a certain number 7 playing in Saudi Arabia, which no one thinks he's happy, to see the decision Messi made in that moment, man, that had to be personal vindication for him that he made the right decision to come play for us.
Yeah, I mean, seeing that live, like that happened right in front of me. It sent La Familia into the stratosphere, but kind of along the point of how dumb a foul that was, is everybody in La Familia, we were all looking around at each other like, get your phones out, he's scoring this, it's gonna happen. And he nailed it. And seeing the team all quickly get around him, like him calling over teammates to hug. I mean, like, in my mind, just rewatching it, like just seeing Joseph and Chris McVeigh on either side of him celebrating that goal, like, come on. Like, who had that on their bingo card, that Chris McVeigh would be celebrating with Messi after his first goal, and then running over to see his family? I mean, to me, the look on his face said it all. And I think in that moment he was like, yeah, this is what it was all about. And I don't know if the renderings of MFP have ground level suites, but if this is what it takes to keep Messi happy, you better build one in. I don't care if it's just one. You better build it in, because and that created, like, the pictures from that are amazing. Like, I doubted he was even, like, able to really, like, bring his family to games, like, because people would mob him.
Yep.
And mob them. And now he gets to do that and be part of it. And the appreciation he showed after the game too, like he stayed on the pitch a little bit and like waved at everybody and clapped it up, and that was nice to see, because some players would have just run right off or gone wherever, and he stayed and clapped it up, and I think he's truly happy to be here. And I think all the people who think that he and Busquets are coming here to retire are going to eat their words. These guys are here to win. Like, I really don't buy into the fact that they're not going to be anything but successful here.
Yep.
I do want to call it one negative. I know he stuck around. He still didn't sign my jersey. That was literally right in front of him. You can see me on the Apple broadcast, like literally trying to get my jersey signed. I'm going to hold that against him. That was a moment him and I had an opportunity to bond, and he took that from me. But otherwise, it was pretty perfect.
You should have given the jersey to TJ, bro. You should have had the kid do it.
Dude,
he ain't gonna
would have gotten that signed.
So there was one point, like right after he sat down in his seat, I was yelling if I was right above him. He even looked at me and gave me a little signal, like, "Yeah, I'll sign it for you later." and then he didn't sign it, so it kind of broke my heart.
Yeah, well,
That's
hey.
because your seats, he thought you were somebody famous. And then like somebody was like, no, that's just a regular guy.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Yeah.
But no, magical. Like that was the coolest thing, and yeah, unfortunately, how do you top it? But I'm hoping we are gonna.
We're gonna top
But
it
that was so
Tuesday.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's gonna go for the Hattie on his second 2 goals, second day, 3 goals, third. He's just gonna keep
No,
on building
this is
every
what
time
we
he plays.
want to. We on Tuesday, a Hattie of assists to Joseph. Let Joseph score all 3 goals against Atlanta.
Well, he gave us a gift. He set us up for advancement, making out of the group stages, right? So, big 3 points, not going to the draw where we each get 1 point, then we do penalty shootout, and someone gets an additional point. So, we got the game coming up against Atlanta. We'll touch on briefly, but the only way we don't do this is if we would have to lose to Atlanta in regulation. Cruz Azul would have to beat Atlanta in regulation, and then we would have to lose the 3-team tiebreaker based off goals. And like Trav broke this down, Ian has broke this down, so shout out to them for doing the math, because this one's a little convoluted with if you draw, you each get a point or can add one in there. So I mean, advancement looks like it's nothing's 100%, but I'd probably put it 90-something% in terms of that. And then we're going to go against Atlanta. Big story here, obviously. Tata Martino was the one that brought them to their glory, in the first season. Also a return game for Joseph Martinez, or not necessarily a return, but gets to play them at home. And we did luck out here. Like I think we were talking last night or a couple nights ago that it's kind of sucks that we've got to play another game. We only get a few day break, and then Cruz Azul gets a week break from it all. But in the same token, someone said, "But hey, we're playing at home. Like that's a massive advantage. So we'll take that with we are." And there was in the presser today with Tata and Robbie Taylor, from what not anywhere near fluent basic conversation skills with Spanish, but from sitting in there and just trying to understand what I could from Tata, because you can kind of pick and understand some moments. And he was just reminiscing on the fond memories he has of Atlanta, and the kind of special to be able to play them again. And it's a big game. There's some storylines within this one which will be very, very good to watch. This game's going to be tomorrow night, man. I mean, it's a midweek game, which I, due to the new Apple TV round whipabout show, whatever you want to call it, like we don't have the midweek games really, very, very few. So I'll take more of those. It'll be a nice Tuesday night. Hopefully the weather holds up. We're familiar with Atlanta. Feel like we always put up a good fight, play well when we're playing at Dry Pink against Atlanta. So hopefully we're coming out of this with worst case a draw, 1 point. We'll even lose in the penalty shootout, although I think it's going to be pretty difficult now that we've got some people that are very calm under pressure for those penalty shootouts. But really, I think we can get out here with a win. Also coming out of the presser today, I do understand Messi and Capital. So he has announced that Messi will be the captain of this game, and the plan is to start both Messi and Busquets. So I believe, given the storylines of this game, we're probably going to see Josef start as well. And then, we're going to have some fun roulette with folding them in and out and really trying to find the best fit for Messi. And then, of course, as you've seen, we've already had 5 of our key players knocked out this season. Injuries do happen. There's a chance Leo takes a knock, Josef takes a knock, and they've got to miss a few games. And, those opportunities will be there. But what are your thoughts on the hopefully the win we're going to get tomorrow?
So, kind of calling out that when we played Atlanta last time, 2-1 win. That's when Martinez broke his drought, right? He had the 2 goals, including the PK. I think we're keeping the good times rolling. I think we're going to see first. I think we will see first half goals. I am curious, and I know kind of jumping ahead, who the starting lineup is. Do we see a 2-striker front? Do we just go 1 striker? I think the one thing we need to watch out for was what happens around minute 60. Like, I think we should all assume Messi and Busquets do not go the full 90, even though we know they get at least a week rest afterwards. They'll have a rest, but prior to the full 90, what happens when all of a sudden we are up? Let's say we're up 2-0, nice solid lead, and then all of a sudden we pull out these guys, and the stadium deflates. Messi's not on the field. One thing we didn't call out, Jay, was every time Messi touched the ball on Friday, the crowd went nuts.
Yep.
So now Messi's going to walk off the pitch, and I would be shocked if you don't see a whole lot of people get up out of their seats, start making their way for the exit, especially if we have a decent lead. That's going to be real deflating. I think that this is a real capability where you see one of those stories of Miami blows 2-0 lead, 3-0 lead, Messi leaves the pitch. I think that's I'll see where Martino coaches us and says, how do I ensure these guys walked off the pitch, someone else came in and gave us that same cool-headedness, and we kept the ball rolling?
I mean, certainly not the most positive outlook on the situation, but fair.
Jesus Christ.
I would not be leaving a game that I had to pay the price.
How with those ticket prices?
Those tickets, yeah, but we'll see. I mean, it's a very fair point, and I think it's going to be a good game. I think I can confidently predict wins now. And I think we can get out of here. 2-0, 3-1, something like that. I think we're really going to see the Messi effect only continue. It still takes time to get the chemistry right with your teammates, and it's going to be really, really fun to watch. But just to keep it moving, so a couple interesting signings that have been expected, but Facundo Frias, official Diego Gomez just signed. Facundo is attacking midfielder, and Diego Gomez is also a midfielder, so they will take 2 of the U22 initiative spots. The club did announce as well that it acquired an international spot from San Jose for, what is 150,000 GAM, and this move is kind of anticipating that that's going to be given to Diego Gomez. Convoluted rules. I really want to dive into this. I feel like somewhere along the lines I saw that the U22 initiatives wouldn't hit the international roster, but it looks like they do. So we've got 9 players currently on board. We're getting one more, but to get into the fun part. But that move does lead to a lot of speculation. A lot of people think, oh, they're getting another international spot. That means that Suarez is coming. That means that Iniesta is coming. I've seen 2 different of these. You see all these wild football accounts who just put out news completely unverified, and you're just like, nope, I haven't heard that. That doesn't make sense. We don't have the mechanisms to make that work. But there's a lot of steam and a lot of people talking about this potential Suarez move incoming. And I saw something that today, and Iniesta is going to be announced within 48 hours. And I'm just like, what? Like, I've not heard any of that from anyone that follows the team, anyone that is, in the press conferences or has sources within the team. It's wild, but I don't think both would be feasible. I mean, it would take some absolute mastery from Hendo, but which one do you guys think would be a better fit? Which one do you think might have more teeth than the other? I like that little pun on these 2 individuals. What are you guys thinking?
So I don't think without MLS deciding to make roster rule changes this window, I don't think we see either one happen. But if I had to pick, definitely I think there is very little chance that at some point, probably in December, we don't see Luis Suarez in an Inter Miami jersey. Like, all the people that hate it need to start coming to terms with it, because it's probably going to happen.
And he was willing to help buy out his contract.
I think he also told him he had bad knees and he was going to retire to see if they would release him so he could come and play for free. Like, he wants to come and play here. I don't think he's going to come as a DP. He'll probably come as a high-level TAM player. And for all those people I know in the Discord, you guys are going to blow up when you hear me say this. If you don't think Luis Suarez comes to this league and is a top 5 striker in this league, you're ridiculous. Like, do we need him? No. We have Joseph and we have Campagna. If you tell me that he's not coming, I'm good. I'm good with those two, but he's coming. Messi wants him. He's going to come. And he's going to be lethal. The guy's killing it in Brazil. Iniesta is not coming. He's not coming. If he was going to come, he would have signed already with Messi because, as I understand it, he's a free agent.
And he's 39.
He's
as
not
well.
coming.
He's 39, so he's older.
Yeah. If he wants to come and be a coach, 100%. There's good coach to learn under Tata. Come coach, but
and Suarez is the same age as Messi. You know, he's 37. 24 appearances for Gremio this season, 11 goals. The year after that, Nacional, 14 appearances, 8 goals. He obviously destroyed Barcelona, scoring 3/4 of the game, maybe more than that. Then went to Atletico Madrid up until 2022, and 6-7 appearances and 32 goals. So I do think he will be effective. Mike, you got anything to add?
Yeah, I don't. So I've been a big fan of getting another more offensive power. So I feel like the expectation would be that I want Suarez. I actually want Ramos. I know wasn't one of your choices, but I think Sergio has been the other name that's come up a lot. We still struggle for defensive line back, defensive support. Like we don't have no one behind. We've got Sergey and Miller, who I think the world of. I think they're really great. I think once we have a midfield that can control the ball, these guys will become a wall. But if one of them goes down, McVay hasn't had a season anything like last year. Bring in a guy like Ramos, and all of a sudden things change. And I think that would be the better investment. I agree. Suarez, top 5 striker. I'm not going to argue that point, but I'm pretty sure that Joseph's going to look like 2018 Joseph the second half of this year. And I think we're going to have, we can't forget we essentially have 2 DPs as strikers. We may not be. I know Martinez is not on paper is not a DP, but the reality is he's only not on paper because Atlanta did him a sweetheart deal by paying off up front, so he could still get that payout. I don't think we need if you're gonna say, hey, we can get one more DP, and you tell me we can get a solid guy, solid center back to anchor that line, and all of a sudden we've got, frankly, 2 of the 5 best center backs in the league playing for us, and one of the best left backs, and the best CDM. It takes all the pressure off. They got to throw more attackers at us, and that only just opens up more windows, more lanes for Messi to come through to get that ball moved around. So I would love, if you're going to tell us that one of these names that we've been hearing, I'm going to go with Sergio.
Fair. And, the other rumored players, because we do need to fill out the last of the U22 initiative spots, because Emerson Rodriguez will no longer be. I think there's a lot of confusion that he was going to be in one of those spots, but he's not. So the heavy rumors around that is Tomas Avidas, another Argentine young guy, 18 years old. So, if this pick is correct, he could be here for a while, probably before going, off to Europe. A lot of hype around him, as well as Brian Aguirre. And he is a 20-year-old Argentinian. He's playing for Newell Old Boys, and Tomas Avidas is playing for Racing. So keep your eyes on that. We're going to have that figured out hopefully before the end of the summer transfer window. Might as well. And that really concludes, I think, most of the talking points, unless there's anything else you guys have that you would like to bring.
No, just make super excited. Throw out anyone who listens to this Tuesday morning. Lots of tickets for sale still. If you're thinking about coming, pay attention to StubHub and stuff, because I think people are going to start selling tickets at a loss. But they do have, I know the club, if you go on Ticketmaster, there's a ton of tickets for sale. Probably some opportunities to get in and see Messi's first start, which will still be quite an event.
And if you have tickets and they're not selling, and maybe you're not too concerned about recouping some funds, and you want to do something really awesome with your tickets, reach out to us, DM us on Twitter on Instagram, the IMPC community was able to donate 7 tickets to Messi's debut. We worked with Joe DiMaggio's Children's Hospital, connected with 3 different families and 3 kids going through, some rough patches, or they've been patients there for a long time. We were able to bring a little bit of joy, a smile to their face, and let them see an amazing night, amazing debut, and an amazing goal. So individuals have reached out to us and donated tickets for games they know they can't attend, months down the road. So if there's, if you want to just do something awesome and you're not too concerned about recuperating the cost, or you don't want to deal with the headache, feel free to reach out to us. We will connect with other families, and we can all do a little bit to brighten the lives and bring a smile to the face of the children. So I just wanted to share that. That really brings us to the end of the show here. So thank you, everyone, for tuning into the Inter Miami podcast. Thank you, Mike and Branton, for swinging by. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And if you don't already, follow us on Twitter at InterMIA Podcast and on Instagram at Inter Miami Podcast. And as we end every single episode, vamos, Miami.
Vamos, Miami.
Vamos, Miami.
Cheers, boys.